Previously, the major ASEAN countries were net importers of capital. But as private wealth grows in their respective economies, we now have witnessed capital being exported out for greater risk diversification. The linkages created will provide a vast range of opportunities for the many financial intermediaries in the region, both locally or ASEAN-based and those from beyond.
I think it's about being very balanced in how we serve our customers. Obviously, we have to make budget month in, month out, quarter in, quarter out, but I think we just have to be very balanced. Think about customers' profitability in the long run, not just the short.
You have to look at succession planning of your service provider. If I'm setting up a trust and I want it to be around for a long time, and I say, Katie, will you be my trustee, or Katie, will you be my protector, etc. And if we're not that far apart in age, there is going to be a problem. I think the established family offices think about this pretty well. I was approached by one who said, you're about the right age because we want someone to serve the family for about 20 years and not have to keep handing over. But if you have a service provider and there isn't good succession planning at your service provider, you are going to have an issue, right? Because the relationships are not going to be there. The same kind of values and thinking and feel is not going to be there.
Yeah, I think it's an evolutionary thing, like all of the post-crisis environments we're working in, whether it be banks in the crowd for regulatory or for law firms or OFCs. Keeping up with the pace of change is quite difficult.
I wouldn't say that the wealth in Asia is only built in this generation. It's just that it becomes visible now with global transaction listing exercises. The value of their wealth is flushed out. And they realize that there is a big amount they're looking at in terms of passing on to the next generation.
In 2013, 1/3 of all new build central London was purchased by the mainland Chinese. And rather more staggering, 1/3 of all agricultural property sold in 2013 in the UK was purchased by mainland Chinese. So if you just take that as an example, the type of structuring necessary for holding assets can just be seen by that small statistic.
If I could say the genesis of family office is really to organize family affairs. And whether it involves 90% of the assets or 10% of the assets, whichever applies at that point in time, it's always the beginning.
Alipay in October launched Yuebao, if you remember. In less than a year, they got about almost 100 billion in assets without so much as one banker, no RMs, no real platform, just a great customer experience and a great rate. They are a digital disruptor. They changed the landscape for the money market and deposit market in China overnight. And they're changing the landscape for us as well.
I strongly believe that with our crumbling borders, the demand for the best wealth management solutions can only get stronger.